3 days prior to coup, Ocket, Francine plus conspirators plan to start their own version of Comfy Discord. Their ideology was that Kirk and Dark Knight are unfit leaders. In reality, they were just unhappy because we had talked about banning Francine privately in the staff channel, in which Ocket was part of. Francine had been warned and punished multiple times for breaking the rules, and it was getting annoying. Certain steps were taken to mask this treachery. The Me6 bot that was tracking member join leaves was kicked, accounts were sneaked in. After Me6 was discovered gone, Ocker deleted an entry of his alt joining the server. A few of us were invited over to the peaceful Discord by Berger, including me. Berger set up the Discord during the early days of Horndu with Ocket and a few others. This is the Discord that is now known as Inner Heaven. It was Aka Outer Heaven without autists, and Outer Heaven Women Haters Club for a time. It was used as a refuge to get away from the people they deemed unappealing in voice chat. Some of these people include AEX, King Crimson, Lamp Shadek Knight. That was the night I created the disgraced role in the secondary general chat to try and appease them. I could feel something coming. The next day, I woke up to chaos. Francine had decided to poke the bear. They were ripping on Dark first, and I think he got muted for a while. Then they decided to rip on Kirk, who dropped the ban hammer on Francine. Half the Discord rioted and called for Kirk to unban Francine immediately. I joined at this point. At first we were discussing what to do when we realized that someone deleted a log from the member tracking channel. The staff went into full lockdown. We had no idea who was a traitor. We had a mole. We vetted through each of the staff and found out that it was Ocket. He was immediately demoted, and we combed through everything to figure out what was going on. Meanwhile, in general the riot was still ongoing. Conspirators and useful idiots were chanting Free Francine, spamming the entire screen with pages of that shit. Kirk yields and offers to Francine to be let back in. Francine says he will only come back if Kirk apologizes on video and puts a soap into his mouth. Of course, Kirk being a manly man, he tells Francine to fuck off, and then an announcement was made that if people continued like this, they will be banned. The spam continues for a while longer. Kirk then bans 4 others: Johans, Defib, Joe Fields, and Broom, I think. At that point of time, I stayed neutral. I didn't side with Kirk or Splinter Discord. I actually went to Kirk asking him to chill out and be cool. And I actually believed that maybe, just maybe, he was overreacting. Oh, how wrong I was. I brought up wanting the 2 Discords to unify and for peace. But they weren't having it. They wouldn't negotiate with Kirk because they felt/said that he was ruled by his emotions. Some people did agree with me wanting to reunify. It's not a coincidence they aren't there right now. They said I was not seeing things as they saw it. Why can't they have their own Discord for their friends? At first, I accepted that, and I tried to stay in both Discords. At that point of time, I stayed neutral. I didn't side with Kirk or Splinter Discord. I actually went to Kirk asking him to chill out and be cool. And I actually believed that maybe, just maybe, he was overreacting. Oh, how wrong I was. I brought up wanting the 2 Discords to unify and for peace. But they weren't having it. They wouldn't negotiate with Kirk because they felt/said that he was ruled by his emotions. Some people did agree with me wanting to reunify. It's not a coincidence they aren't there right now. They said I was not seeing things as they saw it. Why can't they have their own Discord for their friends? At first, I accepted that, and I tried to stay in both Discords. Phil came to me through DM saying that he thought the entire thing was stupid. I fell for his Jewish lies. We made plans to talk to each of our respective friends. He said he would talk to Francine and co. I would talk to Kirk and Dark Knight about their behavior. I fell for his Jewish lies. Things were tense. Francine was made a mod along with Berger in Outer Heaven Negative. This was the tipping point when I started to realize they were full of shit. Plum and I came into their VC to hang out. Plum says something really trivial that somehow gets Francine annoyed. Plum gets kicked. I get a little mad, and I said that if they were to criticize Kirk for arbitrary and unfair bannings, then just turn about and do the same thing, then I'm out of there. And then I left their Discord. AI got us back in, and they said they were just joking. I said that we are trying to find a peaceful resolution, and that their jokes aren't funny. Then Francine goes, "Don't you like us anymore?" From that point on, a target was painted on my head. I forgot to mention this before, but Father K was banned from the Discord shortly after. Take note of this. The next day / later that night I talked with Ocket. It was a super long talk. I tried to understand things from their point of view. They believe that Kirk is a power-hungry maniac who bans people who disagrees with him. They are the revolutionaries who rebelled against a malicious dictator. So I said, why couldn't he just talked it over if he had the position to? He was a mod after all. The premise was that Kirk wouldn't listen to reason. I said, okay, why not I step in and mediate? Then Ocket said that no, why should they compromise? They don't share 50% of the blame. I then asked to verify 3 things. 1. Whether the member join / leave log was deleted by him. 2. Whether the Me6 bot was kicked by him. 3. Whether Ocket leaked chat screen caps from the staff channel to Francine. Ocket admitted to 1 and 3. But he said he did not do anything to Me6. Ocket then said yeah, he had the intention to kick the bot but he couldn't. This was bullshit because me and Kirk tested it with mod privileges, and it was possible. I saw that they were not willing to compromise on a peace agreement, so I left it at that. But I mentioned that could they not see the hypocrisy in banning Father K for leaking chat logs from Outer Heaven minus to Kirk, but not assigning themselves some of the blame for leaking from staff channel. The next day, Dark Knight Starks got released. Some antagonists came into Outer Heaven to riot again, and to drop Dark Knight Darks everywhere. That was how the no darksing of anyone within Outer Heaven rule was instituted. A little later the riot changed direction. They, along with some unaware bystanders, called for Francine to be unbanned for 10 minutes, so that he can say his piece. I, being in the other server, could tell this was not a genuine attempt at brokering peace, but was just so that they could get an opportunity to talk shit to his face. However, I noticed that a lot of the people who were involved in the rioting actually had no idea what was going on, and that maybe observing firsthand what the actual face of these rebels looked like would open their eyes. So I told Dark to accept a group call. We would speak in neutral territory. Retard, Shia, AI, among others were calling for an opportunity for Francine to give his side of the story. They wanted us to unban Francine for 15 minutes and let him speak. Either that or Dark Knight accepts an invite from the other server and they can speak there. I gave them a third option, to use a group call, so that no party has any dominion over any other party. Okay, so we joined it. The initial participants were AI, Dark, Victor, Phil, Dingus, Francine, and myself. Dark and I silenced ourselves and said that we will listen to them for any issues they might have. Someone starts talking, but I can't really remember who. It was basically about agreeing that we should have peace. Francine speaks next, and he says that he thinks that it is good to talk it out and seek peace. I anticipated that this was ungenuine from the start, since over on their server they were saying stuff like make them think we actually want to be civil and stuff like that. I have this from redacted, my own access to the server. At this juncture I question Francine on if he can shed some light on the following events. 1. The deletion of the member tracking log entry. 2. The kicking of the Me6 bot. 3. The leaking of chat logs from inside this chat room to Francine. Francine replied that he can talk a little about point 3. He said that he has a Discord developer friend who has the ability to retrieve chat logs. Phil has been trying to pitch that he was this developer to me the entire day. So I expected this. I asked, is that not a breach of the privacy policy? I got no reply. Well, fine. They then said they would like to invite more people. Namely, Retard Peep, Taser, Mema Bruli. When they came in it was a shitstorm. Taser could not shut up about Hungarians and he basically just talked over most people. I was attempting to mediate at this point and asked for one person to talk at a time. Retard's stance was that Dark is a pussy and that he abuses power. Taser just continued to abuse everybody. Meme kept quiet the entire conversation. After a few moments of this, Ocket wakes up and is invited to the chat. So first thing I ask is Ocket, Francine said that the chat logs were leaked by a Discord developer. Is this true? He replied, no, I don't know any Discord developers. Then Francine interjected with yes, I know a Discord developer. And Ocket replied, I don't know any, but maybe Francine does. I don't know. After that I called them out saying that I have them on record saying that it was indeed Ocket who leaked it. Then Ocket leaves the chat saying that we can talk when we unspurg. They continue abusing Dark a bit more. He disconnects because of her internet cut. So they bitch in his absence a little and Dark comes back. I was in direct communication with Dark the entire time and told him to act cool and to end with a professional closing if things do get too heated. At this juncture, I said that I do not believe they are being serious. Francine and co intended to trigger Dark with doxing pictures and I have evidence of them planning it. Additionally, the premise for the talk was untrue. They intended to abuse him from the start. So I said, since you guys are demonstrating a lack of interest in pursuing a proper negotiation, I'm ending the discussion. They tried to trigger Dark and he got a little angry, but I firmly told everyone to cool it and suggested to Dark to disconnect now. And so he did. Another thing I forgot to mention was that Berger was banned from Ocket Heaven. This was because they suspected him of warning Dark Knight about the doxing. If I wasn't on their shit list, I definitely was then. They tried to get me to leave from the server by dropping Nation IOX and changing my name repeatedly. I just ignored them all and changed my name back. After a while, I guess they realized I'm more autistic than them and they banged me. From this point on, they moved their attention from Dark Knight and Kirk to primarily me. I'm pretty tired and am going to cut things short. Over the next few days they just kept coming in spamming. They get muted/jailed. They complain some more. Kirk unmutes/jails them. This happens over 2 to 3 days. They all call for me to be stripped of admin. They say I'm too strict and that I ban people for talking shit about me. So it gets to the point where Kirk says okay, they get one last chance. Everyone is allowed back in. Everything goes back to normal. They are let back in. But nothing is normal. The rioting continues. General becomes an all-out spurg zone. It appeared to us on this side of the fight that we had lost. Francine and co were let in. Voice chat grew massive. General Voice had maybe 20 to 30 people in it at the time. But they had no intention of achieving an amicable agreement. Numerous people started abusing the staff, especially Dark Knight, and tried to get him on his darks. You have a family, Steven, were one of the more interesting things being thrown about. Dark retorted something that Francine didn't like at one point in order to instigate more authentic responses. This, in addition to one of our newer members, DSB, chiming in, caused Francine to get into a little rage. There were many things said, but he let slip his reason for being there, that they were there to troll and confirm Dark Knight's darks. Everyone heard this, and the game was up. Kirk acknowledged that they had no intention of letting things return to normal. Our next course of action was to begin permanently banning all of the individuals who had been consistently causing problems. We made our list and purged the server. We made it ours again. And that's the story up to so far.